The Salesforce implementation we did for Yuppi Camp started from the close relationship between them and Alpar, one of our managing directors. They were looking for someone to help them with their digitalization. This is where we, Agile Networks Technologies, entered the stage to help them in what they set out to do. Only that this time it was a bit different. The Salesforce implementation was free of charge, as we wanted to help them with their mission to provide an effective way of offering complementary therapy to children with chronic diseases in Romania.
Implementing Salesforce for a non-profit organization like Yuppi Camp can be described in many ways, but one word that comes into my mind now, it's simply different. We came to understand that an NGO has a completely different way of doing things than what we are used to. Regardless of that, it didn't stop us from making the Salesforce implementation a successful one for an NGO that had zero digitalization. Our main goal was to make their spreadsheets a thing of the past and make their everyday work as easy as possible. To do that, we discovered their needs, which were digitalization, the introduction of a CRM tool, and easy access to their data. The solving of their identified needs has led to an increase of donor retention and an optimized business process. It also came with new donation streams and reduced time spent on manual work. For Yuppi Camp, we designed the actual process together with the stakeholders as they were actively involved. So you can imagine all the ideas jumping back and forth constantly, finding out about new donation channels, twists, exceptions, and so on.
From aggregating and connecting a large amount of data in one CRM to helping the customer reconfigure and adapt their business processes, the challenges we faced while implementing Salesforce for Yuppi Camp were quite a few. One big challenge was the resistance to automation proposals as the NGO promotes human interactions. We took a step back and came to understand that Yuppi Camp is not our usual company. It would have not helped the fundraising in any way if we replaced the manually written emails with automatically sent out standard ones. So we did the next best thing we could do by creating automatic reminders for them to send out all those emails.
Another challenge we faced was the lack of experience with the CRM concept on the customer side. This was the first time the people from Yuppi Camp got to use such a powerful tool, which offered them new, more practical ways, so training was needed. Even if it looks simple to use, those few objects like account, contact, campaign, activity, and opportunity can be tricky sometimes.
The way the people from Agile Networks Technologies approached and handled the digitalization of Yuppi Camp was very professional. At first, they tried to understand better what we do and what a day at Yuppi Camp looks like. With that information in their minds, their actual work began. Implementing Salesforce. The time we used to spend on manual work has been significantly reduced, and our work is much easier now that Salesforce implementation took place. As we never used Salesforce before, we also received a training session. The people from Agile Networks Technologies were patient and kind enough to show and teach us everything we needed to know to operate this new tool.
I'd say they are very open-minded, easily accepting suggestions, and very dedicated to making it work. Implementing Salesforce for them was like a breath of fresh air. Seeing how they work showed me that business can be done in a very human way. You can't help but admit that in the technology era, there are just some things that work better the way they are, slightly automated, but with a pinch of human touch added. We would happily work with Yuppi again anytime if given the chance. Both parties matched, and it was a respectful relationship that resulted in a successful project.
We realized that not too many people are aware of the colossal amount of work and immense dedication that goes on behind the closed doors of a non-profit like Yuppi Camp. They live and breathe for the cause, so at some level we felt like this is the way we could contribute, and we wanted to put all our efforts into making it something really useful for them, the Salesforce implementation.
In a world where everything is fast-paced, the Salesforce implementation was exactly what we needed. It saves us so much time, which we can channel into further developing our NGO and helping the children. Another thing worth mentioning is the fast rate we have now when working with all the donors and the agility regarding our day-to-day actions. Over 600 accounts, over 800 contacts, and more than 500 donations were all imported into the CRM. In other words, All this data is being operated on a single platform, only some clicks away from one another. We have now increased donor retention and optimized our business process. We also have new donation streams. All this thanks to the people from Agile Networks Technologies and the Salesforce implementation.